Hey, best friend. I didn't make you guys wait that long. Girl, I had a comment that was like, see you next year. Valid. I'm gonna be doing my nails and telling this story at the same time. Filming a lot more these days, and I have boxes that I need to open up, and my hands be looking scraggly. Still gotta go get my kids from school. So grab your wine, snacks, everything you need. Gather around for story time. We gotta talk about what's going on with the weather. And like, I got my own little conspiracy theories about the weather and how they've been controlling it and everything. But anyways, in May, we're getting snow. At the beginning of this month, we had snow, so much in fact, that our kids' school was delayed 2 hours. I wasn't even sure if I had one, but I did. Thank God I found an umbrella in my car. Get the kids out of the car, waiting for the bell to ring, and I look up at the corner of this umbrella. This is an umbrella from an old job that I used to have. It was at one of the law firms that I used to work at. I used to get a lot of merch from them. Like, David still has socks that they gifted him, like dress socks, and I guess I still had the umbrella. Girl, I looked at it, boom, boom. Girl, all these memories came back. I was like, oh, I need to tell my Glamazons about this, like, now. Once upon a time, not long ago. So I was able to find my first law firm job through an agency. Through that job, I was able to kind of get my foot in the door in other firms. I liked one more than the other, and this was the one that I preferred, okay? The attorneys were super cool. They were a little bit more organized, and they didn't drink all day like my other law firm, girl, because they were like, they would start at 10 in the morning. I'm not even kidding. The attorneys are younger, because like my other attorneys, they were kind of, girl, they were struggling to get into their emails type. Majority of the attorneys are men, but there are 2 women there. One of them is like in her mid-20s. We're gonna call her Katie. And then the other one, she was a partner, so she was a little bit older, and she's not really a part of this story. So moving on. Now, if you guys have not ever worked in a small office, girl, you get close really fast. You start knowing everybody's business. You do. You become like a family, because I was spending so much time at the office. This is where my entire mind changed about possibly being a paralegal, because they had offered to pay for my schooling if I wanted to go to school to be a paralegal. And I was really considering it. And I asked for some time to kind of think about it, because I really wasn't sure what I was gonna do with my life at this point. Having interned at the courthouse, girl, I saw attorneys, and I saw how they came in there, how tired they are, how much they bring work home. It just didn't seem like a fun time. Now that I'm like behind the curtain, I see how much these attorneys work too, girl. Like, they all the time. They basically live at the office, okay? One of them actually has a pull-out love seat, but it pulls out into a bed so he could sleep in there, take his little naps. So this is gonna seem super irrelevant, but you need to know, okay? Our suite didn't have in-suite bathrooms. So the bathrooms were right outside of our suite in the hallway, and this matters, okay? Just give me a sec. Really good friends with the attorney, Katie. So me and Katie were pretty good homies, and so every time she had to go to the bathroom, you know, she would stop by my desk for like 10-15 minutes. We'd kiki a little bit. One day, she stopped at my desk first thing in the morning. Guess what? And I was like, what? So-and-so's getting an assistant. Did you hear about it? Oh yeah, he definitely needs an assistant. Finally, his schedule is crazy, okay? So I was like, when are we gonna have interviews? No, she's hired. Let me describe Katie to you, okay? Katie, she got the bob, okay? And she's real petite, and she's kind of quiet. She's real quiet, but she's super witty and super funny. She's one of those that like, you have to gain access to her personality. She ain't just gonna give it to you free, okay? The way she was saying it, y'all, she was like, no, she's hired. I was like, oh, this is the problem. OT, right? She ended up going back to her office. We didn't have a whole lot of time to really get into the meat and potatoes. Now I'm aware that we have a new hire. I don't know when she's starting. I don't know. I've never seen her a day in my life. And this matters. Can I reiterate how small this office is? Okay, in all, I had 8 attorneys in that office. 9 people, including me. Pretty close quarters. And like, this is an office downtown. The suite is really small. I need to know who I'm sharing my space with. Another assistant? Hello, this is my realm. What do you mean? Very next moment that I had, girl, in the coffee room, which is also the break room with the coffee maker and everything. The minute that I saw that partner that's hired an assistant, I was like, hey, when were you gonna tell me that you hired an assistant? So you've heard about her already. See, she's impressive, huh? I start grilling him. him. And I'm like, when did you have time to interview her? How did I miss this? Because she like never came into the office. He just thinks it's so funny that I'm tripping on him. And he was like, we had a phone interview. And I was like, a phone interview? I interviewed with 4 of them. Half of the attorneys that were in that office, I had to interview with them. So what you mean? This girl, she could just get her job with a phone call? That's insane. You know, I'm kind of putting the pieces together of why Katie was like, no, she's already hired, you know, because that was not customary. I start getting this information little by little. So we're notified of her start date via email. And it was like a mass email to everybody in the office. Oh, hey, by the way, Andrea is gonna start on Monday. Every single conversation after that, every person that was going to the bathroom passing by my desk had to stop and give their 2 cents about this new hire. They all have the same question. Have you met her? So like, you met her? No, everybody is so confused. Monday comes around. And as soon as my direct supervisor, he comes into the office that Monday, and he starts giving me a spiel about be nice. So Andrea's coming in today and we're gonna be nice, right, Nikki? And I was like, I had never shown my crazy side in this office. So I was like, this is purely off assumption. And as you should, because I am crazy. And I love my job. And I just don't want, all y'all know, a new hire, especially in that small of an environment, can really make or break the vibe. Can really make or break the dynamic in the office. So, you know, he's kind of giving me shit and I'm like, you know, I'm gonna be nice. Like, I'm a nice person. I know it's extra important because, you know, that's so-and-so's niece. If she needs any help, just be available. And I couldn't hear nothing else he was saying. All I kept hearing was niece, niece, niece. Oh, that explains the phone interview. And so I'm just sitting there giggling. I didn't even question anything else. I'm just looking at him. Literally the moment that he said niece, I just started giggling. I was like, the more you tell me to be nice, the less nice I want to be. I don't know about nobody else. On my first day at work, you know, in the corporate world, my big girl job, my start time was at 8 a.m. Not Miss Ma'am, We were just given the date of when old girl was gonna come into the office. 7:50 comes around and she still ain't here and I'm like, really not like a good look to not be like early to your first day. You know, again, generally speaking, that's what we do. I don't know about you. 8 o'clock comes around. My eyebrow starts going up a little bit. Ooh, this is gonna be a problem. Wow, Patrick, I guess your assistant just quit on you already, you know? Kind of giving him shit. I'm like, you know, I haven't seen her. I'm confused, you know? He gets his coffee and he passes by me and he was like, she'll be here at 11. And he walks away. I look at the other attorney, me and him are like gobsmacked. Again, what? We start making faces at each other and he was like, at 11, she'll be here. And I was like, okay. I don't care whether or not you know or are related to somebody within the company, within the firm, wherever you are. But when you set yourself apart and you feel like you don't have to be there at the same time as everybody or put in the same amount of work, like already this is putting a bad taste in my mouth. It's just kind of weird. 11 o'clock comes around. 11:05 comes around. Right before 10 minutes, okay? Because I was counting. I really was. I couldn't help it. I can see straight down the hallway. And I see this tall, skinny brunette get off of the elevator. She comes in, she comes to the desk and she's like, Andrea. Good morning, I'm Nikki. Andrea. Not her repeating her name to me 2 times. Like I've just, girl, love this. They made a makeshift office for her right across from Patrick, and it used to be straight up was a storage closet and they made it into a little office. Okay, and where's Patrick? Patrick was in a meeting. Okay, I already knew that. And the reason he specifically told me that when she got here to show her to her office. He's actually in a meeting right now. I was like, but I can show you to your office, you can get settled in, and then, you know, you guys can catch up when he's done. With who? I'm sorry? Who is he having a call with? One of our clients? Well, I'm actually pretty familiar already with the client list. No, I'm just trying to get a head start here. So who is he on the phone with? You come on a little strong. And I gave her the details and she was like, yeah, that does sound familiar. You can walk me to my office now. Okay. Patrick is her uncle, okay? So Patrick is in his office, clearly on the phone. He has one of those long windows, you know, on the side of his door. Saw him as we're passing by. I saw him on the phone. And right across the hall is her office. And so, you know, we both kind of pass. I pass and I go to unlock her office and I turn on the lights and I was like, yeah, you know, so here's your office. IT is already coming here. Girl, I turn around. Why is this girl at his window? Next thing I know, old girl is opening his office door. He's on the phone and I just see him look over and he's like, and he paused for a second like, okay, fine. Like that's how it seemed. And I'm in the doorway like, there's nothing else I could do. He allowed her into the office. She shut the door. I peace out. We're looking at like 2:30, 3 o'clock, okay? I hear heels coming down that hallway. All of her bags and everything. Andrea, my stupid ass, I was like, oh my God, it's already 5, girl. You taking off? And she was like, yeah, have a good night, bye. And she just leaves the suite and I am just sitting there like, I ain't never seen nobody leave this office earlier than 5:30. 5:30 comes around, Katie comes out. Are you ready? You don't have to whisper. Why? And I was like, because she's not here. Come on. And I was like, okay, we gotta go. So we end up going to this little restaurant spot across the street and they have like really good tapas. And so we go there and we get a little table and we just yap. I think Katie was more concerned about it in regards to like process and procedure and keeping everything in line. Even with the nepotism involved, work with her on an upcoming case that I have with Patrick and I'm gonna have to work directly with her and I haven't had a chance to meet her. So hopefully we'll meet her tomorrow. But you know, she was just kind of highlighting some of the different things that I had seen as well that were definitely, you know, different than usual when it came to Andrea, her onboarding, you know, her first day, all of those things, and none of it was aligning with what was customary. We had ourselves a good little yap sesh and we head home. Fast forward, every single day, this girl is coming in at about 10 a.m. She is never there when we get there, and then she leaves shortly after lunch between 2 and 3. I think the latest that I ever saw her there was about 4 o'clock. Fast forward like a good month or two, like Andrea had been here for a good minute. We all got used to it. You know, she came later in the morning, she left earlier in the afternoon, and I had requested some time off. It was only like a week. One of my besties was getting married in Chicago. I go to Chicago, we have the wedding, it's a great time, perfect. I get back, I have like 2 days still of just chilling, relaxing before I head back to work. I get there a little early because, you know, I hadn't been there for a week, so I just wanted to kind of, you know, get my bearings a little bit. So I was there pretty early. And all of a sudden, Katie comes through that door, Nikki. And I was like, what? I had never seen her like this. She was like, come into my office right now. And I was like, okay, like you don't have to ask me more than once, especially when you have that tone in your voice, girl, I want to hear. So I follow her to her office and I'm like, what? And she shuts the door and she was like, Nikki, I don't know how long I can do this. I really don't. Like, I've been trying to be understanding. Girl, she goes on this whole rant, okay? And she has a chair in her office. I literally sit down and it's like we're having a therapy sesh. And I'm like, what's going on? And she was like, the entire week that you were gone, everybody knows about this client, this case. Some things have changed and we needed to update some documents and get some signatures. We also had a notary that we scheduled. All of this is customary, normal, fine. The client was only in town for a few days before heading off to another destination. I forgot if it was a vacation or whatever. Timeline, all of this was in a time crunch. We were having a client dinner where we were gonna take these documents, get the signature, while also taking our client out to, you know, a free meal. They did this was so normal. Last Thursday, we were supposed to have dinner with that client to get these forms notarized and signed. We're supposed to go to Elway's. Patrick told his assistant this imperative time-sensitive meeting that we needed to have. We show up at the restaurant, there's no reservation to be had. It is packed. We cannot eat. Nowhere else around has a free table. This is our client. He's very rich, by the way, okay? So you can't just take him anywhere, all right? The client says we'll have to reschedule and leaves. They don't get those forms signed and the whole thing has been knocked back. An extra month and a half until we're able to get this person back in town. She got crazy going on in her eyes, okay? Katie doesn't play about her job. She takes it very serious. Making dinner reservations was the easiest part of our job in that office. Everything else is very time consuming, tedious, a lot of reading, a lot of attention to detail. So I am struggling understanding how you didn't get a dinner reservation made for something as big as this. What did Patrick say? Like, did he have anything to say? Any thoughts, any opinions? A penny for your thoughts, sir. What did he say? Because I know one thing. If that would have been me, oh, I would have never heard the end of it. I would have never heard the end of it. Also, I was just paranoid about losing my job. I never wanted to lose my job. We'll get it done as soon as he comes back. It's okay. While we were there at the restaurant, he went ahead and made the reservation for when our client comes back into town. So, catching me up on everything that happened while I was away. I just want to let you know that I have every intention of talking to both of them about her performance, and about the expectations surrounding her job, because like this cannot happen again. And you know what? Katie's valid. Everything here is on a timeline. We have one job in this office, and it's to assist the attorneys. It's a regular day. Katie stops at my desk. She goes to the bathroom. She comes back red in the face. Can you call maintenance or somebody to come take a look at that bathroom? Why? She was like, somebody just completely left their bloody pad on the floor, like face up, and I'm not touching it. So can you please, our bathroom only had 3 stalls in it for the entire floor. So it's pretty small. And she was like, it's just disgusting. Like, can you please get somebody to take care of that? And I was like, sure. So sure enough, I end up calling. We get somebody up here. I see them, you know, roll in there, and they handle the situation. Okay, cool. We're in this meeting. It's me, Patrick, Drea, my boss, Katie, and one other attorney, all in this conference room, right? My boss is firing questions at me. Have we gotten this certified letter out? Do you have the exact date of that? Who did we get a signature by? And you know, I'm giving him, I have all of this in front of me on my laptop. Basically, it ping pongs over to Patrick and his girl, okay? My head is down, my boss's head is down. Now this is between Patrick and Drea, right? Got an updated address for, you know, this spot. Have we been able to update that in the system? Girl, it was something like that. It was something about data entry. Something changed, needed to be updated. Silence. Andrea, were we able to get that updated in the system? Okay, I found it. So what were you asking? Point, me and all of the other attorneys, including my boss, were just like shooting each other looks, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And he's like, let me just say, girl, he turns her laptop around and confirms by himself that the address has been updated in the system. Girl, I can't help it. I really try not to be judgy, but do you know how hard I had to work to get into this seat? Do you know how much I had to prove myself? Because like, I am petrified of losing my job, and here you go asking the same question 3-4 times to an attorney that ain't got no patience like that. I have seen Patrick go off for less. You could tell he was holding it back. He's holding it back. That's why he snatched that computer. New organization pattern that we were organizing these files, and Katie offered to stay late and help me with it because it was like a lot. And so we go into one of the smaller conference rooms. We stay until like 7:30 at night, girl, and we're in this little room, and by this point everybody is out of the office. And so, you know, we start having a little talk, and of course one of the topics of conversation is how the meeting was a shit show earlier in the day. Patrick actually talked to her, and I was like, no, he didn't. I was like, no, he didn't, because I just didn't believe it. And she was like, no, I was there. He did. He put his foot up her ass. I'm not gonna lie. And then, you know, Katie seemed pretty satisfied. So we get through all of these files, girls, so much. And I remember back then I had Snapchat, and like I was like Snapchatting about it because it was like an abhorrent amount of files. Before we leave, she goes, hey, did you ever get anybody to take a look at that bathroom? I'm about to go pee, and I swear if I see that, I'm gonna throw up. And I was like, oh yeah. I was like, they came already earlier today. It should be all good. Don't even worry about it. That better not happen tomorrow. He comes around. Katie stops at my desk. Hee hee ha ha. Goes to the bathroom. Comes back red in the face. Give me a piece of paper. She snatches this paper, grabs one of my pens, and just starts writing furiously. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then she goes, do you have a Sharpie? Thank you. It's fucking disgusting. She turns that paper around. It's a whole spiel in all caps. It's basically along the lines of, please throw away your feminine products in the trash can. It's really disgusting to have it on the floor for everyone to see. Something like that, okay? You have tape? Okay, thank you. Call maintenance, but like right before you leave. And I was like, why? And she was like, I just want that whoever it is to see that everybody else can see that, and like to see the note and see that and pick it up themselves. She was like, because this is ridiculous. This is the second time. Like, it's so fucking gross. And I was like, no, I get it. Like, I get it. She storms off to her office. I don't know what Katie's talking about. I have never gone into the bathroom and seen any of that. And so, you know, I'm like, ain't no way. Also, I just wanted to see where she put the note. So I did. I got up and I went to the bathroom and, you know, I opened the door, and sure enough, girl, the first thing that I see under the stall is like just a used pad. And you could see, it wasn't even like somebody rolled it up and tried to put it in the trash can and maybe it fell. No, it was like damn near like somebody got the sticky side and said on the floor. That's how it seemed. Oh my gosh. Door of that stall is Katie's letter, and she's got a big ass arrow that's pointing down to the ground. And by like 4:30 or something, I ended up calling and letting them know about it. And I felt bad because, you know what, Katie's right. They shouldn't have to come up here and clean that. It's ridiculous. Whoever it was saw this note, because the next day Katie came and went to the bathroom a few times throughout the day, and there was nothing on the floor. The note was gone. Right before lunch, I get a phone call. And on the extension list, it says that it's coming from like within the building, like our maintenance team or something. So I answer the phone and they like verify the business, and they're like, hi, you know, we're just calling. We just wanted to let you know that it is against policy to place up your own flyers, or to place up your own announcements. Any and all announcements, flyers, any displays or anything like that does have to get approved through management. If we could refrain from posting in any of the common areas outside of your suite, that would be very much appreciated. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, is this about the note? And she was like, yes, it is. She was like, yeah, we did find a note that was in the bathroom, and I was like, okay, but did you see what was under that note? I was told that there was some sanitary items, you know, that were underneath it, which is understandable. We just can't have anybody posting in common areas without building management consent. I apologize. We have just been having this issue more than once now, and I was like, you know, hopefully the person that was meant to see it sees it. That's fine. Thank you so much for letting me know. So I take my little happy butt over to Katie's office. She's ending a call. I just kind of sit and wait. She used to have like this little bowl full of candy. So I go in her office and I get in the candy, and, you know, I'm just like waiting. She wraps up her phone call and she's like, what's going on? And I was like, guess what? And she was like, what? And I was like, I just got a phone call from maintenance. And she was like, what'd they say? And I was like, about your letter. We can't be posting anything. What? Okay. Well, I guess like we're just gonna be having pads all over our bathroom. Like, whatever. Girl, she was so pissed. I go to refill my coffee cup and I run into Andrea in the coffee room, and she's making copies at the printer, and we're just kind of like having awkward silence, mostly because I can't help but stare at her, because what do you mean? She's wearing a baby doll dress, like a legit baby doll dress that's like pink with the ruffles at the trim line and everything, and then like has like the little collar that goes down like this that's white. She has on stockings and some like little Mary Jane shoes, and it's giving very much Shirley Temple. I don't know. I was like, are we in a play? Looking cute, which was true. Like, she looked like a cutesy little baby girl. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could not, the baby doll dress was so short, y'all. So I'm like looking at her and she's like, oh yeah. Turns out she has a date later. So this is her date outfit. Whispers around the office start going around every time, you know, they come past by my desk. Did you see her dress? Of course, the funniest person was Katie. When she came to my desk immediately and she was like, what the fuck is that? I had a quick little laugh about it, and I was like, girl, shut up. I was like, just, you know, I was like, she has a date later, and she was like, okay, like, cool. Well, I'm gonna go to lunch. I have a few errands to run. I'll be back in a few hours. And I was like, okay, cool. Love you, bye. Keep working, doing my thing. And, you know, a few people pass my desk here and there, and then I hear heels, and then I see the pink and the white, and I see the baby doll dress, and I'm like, hey, Andrea. Legitimate question. I was like, oh, are you out of here? I'm just going to the bathroom. Okay, girl, like, I can never tell, okay? Like, straight up, I'm surprised that you're still even here, let's be honest. I go get me some more coffee. I'm around the corner in the break room. A few minutes pass, and I hear our front door of their suite open. Nikki, Nikki, Nikki. And I was like, oh my God. So I'm standing by the fridge, like around the corner, and I'm like, oh my God, before I can even walk over there, here comes Katie. She comes around the corner. She's like, oh my God. We take these things into her office so nobody can hear. She could not hold it. She was like, I know who it is. She was like, I know who it is. The nasty ass pad person. I was like, how do you know? She was like, because of the shoes. Like pulled down her panties and it fell out of the panties and she didn't even pick it up. It's like on the floor. And I was like, she was like, same stall, everything. Who is it? I don't know. Somebody who wears some fucking Mary Janes to work. And I was like, no. Couldn't even fight with her about it because the outfit and everything was so distinct. Nobody else is wearing that. Nobody. So like, I was like, oh my gosh, sure enough, I go sit down back at my desk and I'm just like trying to process. We're not expecting anybody from our suite to have done that. We thought it was somebody from another business on the floor, like never one of ours ever. And so it was just, we were just like, what do you do? I just don't know how to like bring this to her and be like, I know it was your dirty coochie pamper. Like, you know, what do you say? You know, obviously cycles or whatever, it stopped happening for a little while. But by the time it died down, something else was rearing up. Maybe 2-3 weeks, my boss comes in and he's like, Nikki, can I talk to you in my office? Immediately, stomach goes to my asshole. I immediately think, oh my God, I'm getting fired. No, I follow him to his office, I hold my breath, and he's like, hey, I have a weird request for you, but I just want you to do your best at it. And, you know, if you have any questions, you know, you can let me know, but I really need you to pay attention. And he was like, I sent you an email, it has an attachment, and I just need you to do some tracking. And I was like, can you track the time that Andrea is getting to the office and leaving the office? Can you just like jot down the times whenever she's coming and going? There is an investigation and we are just gonna need some documentation about just kind of get an idea of what's going on with hours and stuff like that. So if you could just make note, again, like I sent you a document that you can use and keep up with it, and then we'll have an update next week and you can let me know what you find. Here I go back to my desk and I am spying on this girl at this point. Every single time she walks in and out of this office, I am opening up this document and I am jotting down the time that she is coming and going, the exact time per my boss's request. He's like, hey, what did you find? I print out everything that I notated and I gave it to him. And he was like, okay, thank you so much. Appreciate it. He was like, I'm gonna need you to do this for about another week or two. And I was like, okay, leaving at 2:36. Becoming a part of my normal routine at this point. I don't know where we're at in the investigation. I have no idea. We're all huddled inside of the conference room. It's me, Katie, Andrea, she's filling in for Patrick, so he's not there, and one of our other attorneys, and we're gonna name him Matt. I just remember it feeling cozy because it was kind of dark and gloomy and it was raining outside. At some point, Katie gets up and she goes over and she sits next to Andrea, and they're working on something on Andrea's laptop. Can you show me? And so I get up, I go over to the laptop, and I'm going through this girl's Outlook, and I'm like, I definitely sent it to you like last week, and you know, I start going in to search for my email, and a brand new email comes through from Matt. You can see like a preview of the message. It was a forward of one of Andrea's other emails, I guess, that she had sent him. And then on the top of it, he was like, this is the time that she came in on this day, or something like that. It was like, this is the time that she came in on this day. You know, like when I got this email, she was here. Matt had accidentally mass emailed everybody a response to an investigation question pertaining to the investigation into Andrea's timesheets. And she's not supposed to know. She's not supposed to see this. You know, I just go to the search bar and I start searching up anyway. Find the email and I'm like, see, and I open up the attachment and I was like, see, here it is. And she was like, oh, she's like, I don't know how I missed that. Okay, thanks. And you know, she kind of was just like, okay, like, thank you. I got it from here. We all seen it. Now you know something is up. This girl goes pale. Shortly after that meeting, Andrea leaves the office. Matt comes out and he's leaving for the day. And he was like, Sorry guys, that was my bad. That was my bad. Hit the wrong button. It is the truth. So if she has a problem with the truth, when I got that email, that's when she came in that day. And he was like, you know, if it matches up, great. If not, that's not my problem. And I was like, true though. Never, ever again did I see Andrea come into that office. I don't know if she was fired. I don't know if she just went ahead and said, you know what, you got me. My boss gave me the whole scoop. We're hourly employees and we had a portal where we could clock in and out, and Miss Ma'am put that portal on her phone and then was clocking in and out when she was already at home. And not only was she lying about her hours, it was like crazy. Talk about she was coming in at 6:30, 7 in the morning. Girl, please. Staying until 6 p.m. at night, please, mama. That is an outrageous lie. And so, yeah, we had a good old laugh about it. So that was my experience with nepotism in the office. Not only was it different treatment, different expectations, a lot more leeway, a lot more understanding, a lot more faux pas, but also some nasty coochie pampers on the floor. That is my story for today. This is how the nails are looking. I'm gonna be putting a clear coat over them so they can look nice and shiny and pretty. I love y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for coming to chill with me for story time today. I hope you enjoyed it. Love you, zone girl. See you in my next video. Peace out.